Okay, so everybody, welcome to yet another Nova Scribes. And this is everything that you wanted to know about the IFVP, but we're afraid to ask. If it's okay, what I'd like to do is I'm just going to ask Sarah and anybody else. So raise your hand if you've actually attended an IFVP before. Okay, so we got Rachel and Heather and Sarah and Andrea, and Joe and Kathy have not. And by the way, we are recording this for some folks that couldn't make it today, so we'll be sure to bring them in. Sarah, how about we do this? I've got a few questions that I want to ask you just to like kind of level set, and then we'll open it up. Sound good?
Yes.
Okay. And if anybody else wants to weigh in, by all means, let's get the easy one out of the way. Sarah, the IFV, what is the IFVP?
The IFVP is the International Forum of Visual Practitioners. And as that mouthful says, we are an international group of people who either are on one end of the spectrum interested in visual practitioner or in visual practice, all the way to people who are full-time employing either other people as visual practitioners or themselves as visual practitioners. And the secret word here is forum. So what we're really about is pulling people together and creating a forum where we can all communicate, talk, and grow within the community.
Okay, so how does that relate to the conference then? Because that sounds like a group of people.
It does. Well, we got to come together. So there's a couple ways that we come together in a forum. We have the OLS, which is the online learning service, which Andrea does an awesome job putting together. And the other way we get together is the biennial every 2-year conference that now this year is going to be in New Jersey. So much like we do with OLS, we offer workshops for participants who come and opportunities to get together.
Okay. And about how many people are we expecting? That's the first question. And then after that, why New Jersey? I mean, it is international. Could you have done this in Honolulu, maybe? You know.
I know, right? Well, maybe next time. What was the first question?
How many people do we
Oh,
think?
how many people? Yes. So we have about 60 right now, and we're expecting any upwards of another 50 as time goes on. We offer multiple day and single day tickets. The single day tickets don't get released till later, but the multiple day, it starts Wednesday morning, it goes through Friday, and there is a pre-summit that starts as early as Friday, and that's with your workshops, Brian.
Oh, super. Isn't that
Yeah,
convenient?
and then
Yeah.
Heather's are in there too. Heather's are on Monday.
Yeah, so there's a couple of pre-conventions, pre-workshops that you can attend. I'll just, since you mentioned it, I am going to be teaching Principles of Graphic Facilitation, which is the Groves course on graphic facilitation. It's a 3-day workshop. And so, to that point, Sarah, if let's say that, so I'm more of a facilitator who happens to draw. That's true. I don't consider myself much of an illustrator at all. If I can't draw as well as some of these people, I mean, is that okay? Is there going to be something for me if I'm interested in more of the facilitation side of things?
Yes. Well, as much as it might sound like it's about drawing, it's really not about drawing. It's about understanding a new way to communicate. Now, yes, that requires drawing, but it does not require any drawing skills. So what's really wonderful about learning visual practice and practicing visual practice is that you can use stick figures and really very simple line drawings to communicate and help people understand not only what you're saying, but what others are saying as well. So no pressure on the drawing.
Okay, I'm happy to hear that. So going off of like past years, what is the experience like? Like what should I expect there?
Well, I can tell you from my experience and the experience that other people have told me is that it's really remarkable to be in such close contact with so many incredible visual practitioners. We have a lot of rock stars in the industry, and they're very easy to walk up to and talk to. In 2019, I asked a few people to dinner, and we went to dinner, and we're now lifelong friends. So what's really wonderful about that is that the conference is quite small. And as a result of that, everyone is very accessible and very willing to share too, which is something that's really amazing about our industry, is that we are so willing to share.
Well, you mentioned that you went out to dinner, now you're friends. What else did you get out of it? If you think about the things that were really your takeaways.
Well, my takeaways were new ways of thinking about how I could contribute to the industry, and then also how I can contribute to my own career. I grew my community. So now, in fact, many of you in this very room, if I have any questions or concerns or need help, I give you guys a call and you are right there. So I find that the biggest takeaway is the people and being able to support me in my growth in this career.
Okay, cool. Let's talk about a couple of logistics. So what are the dates again?
So the dates are July 31st through August 2nd. So that's Wednesday through Friday.
Mhm.
And how it works is there's pre-conferences, which we can talk about a little bit more coming up. And then Wednesday morning, we start with a keynote by Chris McGough. And then we roll right into like typical conference. So we have workshops and lunches and opportunities to meet and to communicate. And then that goes on Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday at lunchtime, we close and everybody goes home after that.
Okay. Who's Chris McGough?
Chris McGough is this amazing um this amazing man who, I have to admit right now, I am blanking on him.
I know a little bit about him if I could
I'm
help out.
sorry, that's very embarrassing.
That's okay.
I
So as if I understand correctly, Chris McGough is one of the founders of a consulting firm here in DC called The Clearing. And he's written several books, one of them being The Primes. And if you don't have a copy of The Primes and you're a facilitator, you've been wasting your life. The Primes is an amazing collection of principal posters, things like, for example, the perimeter prime, which talks about extraordinary conversations, which are things that we try to do as facilitators. He works pretty closely with Jim Nuttall, and together they recently published a new book that's out there that has something to do with a root cellar. I've heard of it, but I haven't read it myself. And anyway, he's an organizational development consultant who makes heavy use of visuals and visual practices. I know a thing or two about him, but that's okay.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
No problem, no problem. Yeah, so he will be a really amazing keynote speaker. So back to logistics, you told us a little bit about like when it is, and I appreciate that. Why New Jersey again? Why are we doing it up there?
Oh, yes. Well, the president IFVP happens to be connected with the Montclair State University. And we're kind of like a lot of people recovering from COVID and kind of coming back from a number of years of having to figure out how to hold it all together. And one of the reasons that we chose New Jersey again was to create and to utilize the university communications building, which is this large, beautiful building, which has amazing tech and a lot of support. So fortunately, we are saving a lot of money by not having to hire a number of people to help with the tech. And we've got a lot of rooms and there's a lot of space to spread out in. And then there is the town of Montclair that is quite close, is a wonderful place to discover. So there are a lot of things if you're not at the conference, to go out at night for dinner.
Mhm.
I happen to know personally that there's an amazing Ethiopian restaurant in Montclair. And it hit the top 20 list for the nicest cities in America. So
Wow.
it really is it is cool to have our conference there, because not only do we have access to the campus and all its beauty, the city is quite nice too.
And I believe it's just a quick train ride to New York City, unless I've got that wrong. Andrea, you're going to say something, and then Aaron.
add that another great thing about Montclair and Phil Backler's connection to it is that he's got a whole program there that he's running with visual communications, and a lot of his students will, frequently like to attend, or they'll be able to observe, and they're helping out with the conference logistics so that they can see what it's all about, and so they can get interested and we can get more people into the field.
Nice. Okay, so I wanted to get some of the basics out of the way. Aaron, what have you got?
Well, I live about 25 minutes from there, so I live in New Jersey. Montclair is a fantastic town, and there's a couple of great Latin and regular jazz clubs. There's a pretty famous concert hall that has fairly famous rock bands and other performances that have been there over the years, including Springsteen and Billy Joel and Joe Walsh and all kinds of others. So yeah, so Montclair is a great town, and there's a light rail that takes you directly to the path. And you're in New York City in 25, 30 minutes basically, max.
Amazing. Will you be like renting out your sofa?
No. But I appreciate it. No, my kids are growing up. I finally there's a full ejection trebuchet has occurred. So
Nice.
yeah, I mean, I'm not in more humans in my life, that home phase anymore, but for a while. But no, I appreciate it. No, but I mean, at a serious level, there's a lot to do, especially if you come like the weekend before or after, because you tend to have lots of festivals and stuff going on in the area.
Nice.
So it's a pretty nice area, and that's just totally independent of all the stuff you can always do in New York City. So for those, usually just if you ever just come up here, most people just bypass all this and go to New York, and then don't even know that these places are here, which are great because then I don't have to be bothered by lots of tourists. But when I meet people that are nice, then I always encourage them to do things in New Jersey. So.
Well, we'll try to be on our best behavior. I wanted to get back to a note that Jody dropped into chat. I get that the networking would be valuable, but I just wonder if there are any job openings or presentation/tips for creating a business in what seems like a niche area, just weighing the ROI for travel. So Sarah, anything like, like a business or an entrepreneurship track?
Well, gosh, Rachel, would you like to answer that question?
Yes, there is a business building and like how to run a business track. I am teaching one of the workshops in it. So yeah, I think that if you're looking to like build the skills in the business of like doing like the graphic recording, facilitation, whatever kind of level that is, I think there's stuff for that too. But I think there's also a lot of conversations around like, how do you run the business? How do you get clients? Like kind of having some conversations around actually working on the business of doing this kind of work, or doing something tangential to or doing any sort of like visual work and like that, lots of those things. So yeah, there's a track, and I think it's gonna be good.
Yes. And then there's also office hours, which we have a number, and I think Rachel and Brian, you might even be part of that as well. There are a group of practitioners who will be available for, and I will too, actually, to set up meetings, and any questions you have related to business or anything around visual practice, we are available to answer. So that time can all be found on the website and on the schedule from the website. So
Thanks, Sarah. I also noticed in chat that Jody was asking about West Coast vendors. And Sarah, if you don't know that off the top of your head, I might have a couple of insights for you on that one.
Oh, please do.
Okay, so just one of the things that I think is the most valuable thing that you get as a result of going is this book, right? And hopefully we're going to have another guide because these are great. I'll just do like a light touch on it. So inside the guide, you often get like, here's who's going to be there, like the presenters, and then the conference and all of that good stuff. But besides that, if you flip to the end, a lot of the sponsors and vendors. So for example, from the West Coast, you've got the Grove. So this, and again, this is from 2019. No guarantee if they're going to be there this year. Well, the Grove will, right? So I know that one for sure. Pan Pastel, Image Think from 2019. Montclair State University, Supply One for boards. Brandy Agerbeck's got something from Loose Tooth. Then there's this thing, Level Up Your Lettering. You may have seen that before. And then Ray Martinez. Is Ray going to be there this year, Heather?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. He's
Yay!
shooting
All right.
headshots. Yep.
So Ray's going to be shooting headshots. And so that's just an example of a few that were there in 2019. Okay. All right. How about we open it up a little bit? Let's go a little less formal. If you've got something for Sarah, or in fact, anybody who's been to IFVP, go ahead and go off mute and we'll call on you and we'll do it that way. So yeah, newbies, Benoit, Joe, Kathy, Aaron, Jody, any questions you've got that we could answer for you?
I have one I saw on, sorry, I have one I saw on the website. I got an email about it yesterday or today, actually, about the mentee/mentors program. Can we have a bit more information about that, how it works and what it's providing and so on and so forth?
Yes, and thank you so much for bringing that up. So we have two practitioners who will be there who are heading up the connecting of mentors and mentees. I will in a minute here put into the chat the link that you can sign up to be either a mentor or a mentee. And the program starts just before the conference and goes through the conference. And are you considering being a mentor or a mentee?
I'm actually greener than green, so that would be
Oh,
mentee in capitals letter.
mentee. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Okay, so what you will do is I will put in the link to apply, and then what will happen is the people who are running that part of it, they will connect you with a mentor. And then so they'll interview you, kind of run you through some interview, and then you will be connected with someone. Now, are you already going, or are you thinking of going?
I'm going, and thanks to Brian, I got the scholarship that they were kindly offering to some of the people, so I'm the lucky
Wonderful.
one.
Wonderful.
So
Congratulations.
everything is already reserved, so it's going to be family vacation, and I'm going to ship the wife and daughter to New York City for the weekend.
That's wonderful. Oh my gosh, that's so great. So that means, so I think that means that you're getting the newsletter.
Yeah, I signed up for it. I got it, like I said, yesterday or this morning, not sure, but
Okay,
recently.
wonderful. So the first thing I'm going to do for those who are in the room is I'm going to put the link to the newsletter in the chat. And just for those who are listening to this, it is 2024 ifvpsummit.com/blog. And when you click and go over there, you scroll to the bottom, put your name in, and there you will get an email 2 to 3 times a week with all kinds of information. Or if you want to go to the website and read the information that was already mailed, go to that. You can go and see there's several pages of information. So we're talking about all the presenters, what to do in IFVP. We talk about the mentor-mentee program. And so there's a lot of information on there that will help you to get oriented to the summit. And then, by the way, also in the chat, I am putting the link to it's a survey, but basically what that will do is you fill the survey out, and then someone will contact you. Oh, and then let me say real quick, just so I don't forget, if any of you have any questions, you can contact me directly at sarah@26-letters.com. That's SARAH at 26-LETTERS.com. So feel free to call me if you have any problems. The website there's a little glitch going on with the website. If you run into anything with the website and you're really dying to know what's going on, shoot me an email and I will respond to you as soon as I can. Thanks, Brian, for putting my email in the chat.
No problem. Andrew says, have they sent out further information on the dorms yet?
So, the dorms, I'm not really sure why we're having a problem finalizing the information, or the stuff for the dorms with the man Connor, who's our contact there. The information that we have right now is that the, dorms are singles. So what you have is you'll have like, I don't know what to call it, a pod, I guess, with two, or a suite maybe, with two dorm rooms that have one bed each, and they share a bathroom. And the cost is, it's kind of funny being a dorm. So you have to pay $20 for the sheets, but that's only once. And then it's $80 a day. Oh, and Rachel put into the chat a photo, an image of the dorm. I don't know, can we bring that up to show people?
Sure.
And then also on the website, if you go to 2024 IFVPsummit.com, at the top, it says accommodations and, oh, thanks, Brian. It has accommodations, travel information, all of that is on there as well. There you go. So that's the dorm. So, if you have any other questions about that, and I can't answer at this point, I'll let you know.
Okay. Cool. Let's open it back up for questions. I'm kind of curious to see where it's at. All right. So which meals come with the conference tickets? Sarah, do you happen to know that one?
Yes. So we have lunches and snacks. So I believe there's also coffee, like drinks all day. So, and then in addition to that, there is the gala dinner, which is sort of the big ticket item, because there's, big food, dinner, drinks, and dancing and all that. So it's the big party, and that's on Thursday night.
Cool. So I'm kind of curious to see where people stand with it. Joe, I'm just going to call on you. I mean, what are you thinking? Do you think you might go, or kind of on the fence with it? Where are you?
I'm thinking I'm going to go.
Okay.
I do have a question. It's a question of how long I'm going to be able to go. But I do have a question. I do have a legitimate question, not so much about the conference, but about membership. And this would be, the question is, what are some of the benefits of the membership that you didn't anticipate that you really like about? So there's, obviously if you read the website now, there's a lot of transparent stuff about, networking and everything, and it's going to be great. What is something you didn't anticipate that's like, hey, I didn't anticipate this, but this is really, really great. I'm going to shut up.
Yeah, I got a couple of those. Sarah, you want to go first?
Yeah, I will. What I didn't anticipate was I don't know how. So what I didn't anticipate was that as a solopreneur, I would be as successful as I am collaborating with other visual practitioners. So there's not really, I have not experienced a sense of competition in this industry. There's very much a collaboration that happens, because there's so much work. There is so much work, and there are not enough graphic facilitators to do the work. And then the work is so incredibly varied. Like everyone that comes, if you are 20 or you are 70, you have something to contribute as a visual practitioner to the industry. And so that's what I find, is it's really the people and the opportunities to collaborate. And, and I'm a solopreneur, and I get hired by other graphic recorders to do work that they can't travel for, or I'm hired to be on larger teams. So I find that once you're like in the industry and you've got your thing and you're chugging along, that it really is self-sustaining because of the supportive community. That was what I was really surprised. I've done a lot of things in my career, and this is by far the most supportive community I've ever worked with.
So the thing that I was going to talk about is actually related to Heather's question. Will there be vendors, a bookstore, live demos? Kathy's nodding, yeah. So one of my favorite things is the vendors in the bookstore. So traditionally, I don't know if it's happening this year. I can't imagine that it's not, but like Guido Neuland typically shows up and has like a whole room full of markers and things, where you can try all of the latest stuff. Heather, you could probably speak to that a little bit if you want to. No? Things like the cover, that new white marker that you can draw on top of.
Yeah, no, and I'm asking because I was just asking if there was any, if Guido is coming and if there are any scheduled demos. Yeah,
Do we know?
because I'll be there demoing if people want me to demo, but just wondering if there was any that scheduled.
Guido's not coming. He is sending things at whatever we need. And for those who don't know who Guido is, or even Neuland, Neuland is the premier marker brand. They make other things too. There you go. One of the many. They make all sizes. What's remarkable about them is they're refillable. And so when we're drawing, we don't, there's no like getting new markers. You just fill it up. It's really great. And Guido is the CEO. And he is often at the IFVP. He's got something prior happening, so he will not be here this year, but he is sending his products, and there will be plenty of products on for use on campus.
So Joe, to your point, like the bookstore that's there, like I filled my bookshelf last time I was there with all of the books and resources that are absolutely just nail on the head related to our field. I think like 2016, I must have bought like 12 easels there just because they were all there and ready to go and like sold at a discount. So I was just able to like stock up on stuff. The other thing that I got, in addition to the networking, which is amazing, the other thing that I got was some real concrete tips and ways to do things and to resolve some problems. Like, I was making stuff way too hard than it needed to be, and just being able to sit there and go over, well, here's how I'm doing it, and hearing from other people, totally valuable.
Excellent. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Yeah, and next year it's going to be in Cape Town, South Africa. And I think they have a date already for this thing, don't they?
That's for 2026.
2026, excuse me.
Yes, the date has not been yet announced.
Okay.
Lita Curry is the visual practitioner. She will be available she will be actually in Montclair announcing. She has a video to announce the South Africa conference, and she has a great team down there that's putting it together. So it's going to be really remarkable.
So pretend like you haven't heard that. Heather says, will any part of this be virtual or hybrid?
So yes, they're hybrid. Well, hybrid is, I guess not a question, but there will be an annual general meeting. And since only 3 of the entire board members will be in there in person, we want to pipe everybody else in who can make it. Being an international team, it's like some people it's going to be 3 o'clock in the morning. Some other people have things scheduled, so we're hoping everybody will make it. We'll be able to get them in on the screen on Zoom. And then there are 2 or 3 workshops that we are figuring out how to do virtually. So we have 3 practitioners who were not able to travel because of costs, and also their governments, they couldn't get their papers to come. We are also trying to accommodate them. So we may have a couple virtual people in the room to piped into the room to also share their expertise.
Cool. And Heather also asked, when will the agenda for the annual general meeting, is that right, be announced?
Yeah.
When will it be announced?
The agenda.
The agenda.
Yeah.
Well, the full agenda is on the website right now, which
No, the AGM agenda.
Oh, the agenda. Oh, sorry. Yes.
That's all right.
So
No
the
worries.
specific agenda for the AGM, it is going to be quick half hour on the afternoon on Thursday. And it is, the details of it have not yet been determined. And we will have those within the next week or so.
Okay.
And that will go out into the newsletter that goes out with that address that I just sent.
Okay, thanks.
Sarah, I got a question around that. Actually, I have never attended the AGM because most of the time when they start the thing, they say, okay, everybody must attend. This is mandatory. And as soon as I hear that, I'm like, well, I'm not going. So what am I missing by not going to the AGM?
Well, this time you will miss getting to know who the board members are and what our contributions are. We have a strategy that we are diligently working on, and we want everyone to, there will be a call for like volunteers to, like, we want to really pump up the F in IFVP, the F being forum. We are really pushing for this, the rest of this year, to be really about the forum and having more of a forum, so we can continue the energy that we start at the conference and continue it throughout the year and in years to come. So the reason that it's been mandatory, why you've heard that word, is that in order to meet our legal requirements as a not-for-profit and having the board and having our charter, is that we need to have 10% of our membership at the AGM, either coming in virtually or in person. So that's why you have heard it. I don't really like the word mandatory either. I think there is other language we can use to encourage people to come, but we really, in order to make it kind of like the official annual general meeting, we need 10%.
I mean, if you had cookies, that would help.
Okay,
who
I'll
is
make
the,
that.
So Heather's asking, who is the MC this year?
So we have two of them. We have Jackie Phillips and Phil Bachelier, and both of them, Dr. Phil Bachelier is works at the university, and he's our main contact there. And then Jackie is this tremendous woman. I can't wait for you to meet her. She's so fabulous and beautiful, and she's just an MC. I mean, she's a natural MC. So the two of them will be leading us in guiding us through the conference.
Very cool. And then related to that, how do we sign up for breakouts? Saw there's a lot of breakout sessions.
Yes, there are a lot of sessions. So there is a conference app, which will also be announced in the newsletter, as well as on the website and in all of our social media. And it's called Conf App, which is sort of a weird mouthful, but it's a conference app that we have organized all of the information onto here. So very soon we will have all of the presenters in there. We'll have the agenda. There's areas for you to give your feedback. There's maps. There's places to understand and to where you're going and what you can do. And what we are going to encourage people to do is to start signing up for their workshops there, so that then we can start planning for room size. So this app is going to be available in the next a week or two. We hope to be able to announce that within the week or two.
Very cool. Okay, let's open it up again. So what other questions do you have? And again, all you have to do is take yourself off mute and we'll call on you. Kathy.
What's the best strategy for getting the most out of that full conference ticket? What have you all learned? How do you get the most out of it? How do you make the most of that time and that investment?
Well, what I always suggest is to take some reflection time for yourself and kind of like see where you are. Like, where are you at the very beginning? Are you in the middle? Are you a seasoned practitioner? And also journal a little bit about what it is that you want to, like, what you personally want to learn, how you want to grow. Are there new areas that you want to reach into, but you just don't know what those areas are? Like, are you in discovery mode? Like, you're like, okay, I've been doing this a while, but I want to like do something better, different, something. So kind of figure out where you are right now and part of where you want to go. And then also leave sort of an open for discovery, because you will learn things that you never even knew existed. It's really amazing. And then you can go to the website, 2024 IFVPsummit.com. And you can look through the workshop there through the workshops. So on the website at the top, it says home accommodation schedule workshops. If you click on workshops, and you can scroll down through all of the workshops and read what all the workshops are about. Then when you start to feel something that you're like, oh, that's cool, I want to learn that. So then, write those down. So then you can find the workshops that you want. And then the other thing to do too is to take notes of who's going to be there. What's that, Brian?
Well, I was gonna also answer the question, but not until you're done.
Okay. So the other thing to do is take note of the people you want to talk to. Everyone is super accessible, and a large number of the people who are going to be there are rock stars in the industry. So this is the time to connect with people, get to know them, ask them out to dinner. We have lots of open time. We have lunch every day. You can sit with them at lunch. And then, so that's kind of the two things, like, what do you want to learn? Who do you want to meet? And then strategize how you're going to do that. So like, for instance, we have an open dinner on Wednesday. So what we're going to do is organize people to come together, find groups, and then go into Montclair, discover Montclair, and have dinner together. The people I went to dinner with in 2019 are still some of my closest friends in the industry, and they are incredible humans. So the more people you can connect with and the more you can learn will basically, it's like rocket fuel. It will just fuel your business and fuel your inspiration. So Brian, what do you have there?
I was just going to double down on what you said about journaling. I mean, take some visual notes, do your thing, right? I mean, these are my notes from 2019. I mean, this was the kickoff. That's like literally where I was sitting in the auditorium. And then, getting into it, these were the sketch notes that I took while we were there. So we kicked off with Thomas Franklin, who's a photojournalist, and talked about the power of imagery. I took a workshop with Anthony Weeks. I have used this daily with my facilitation, because one of the things that he shared was, I hate report outs. What are alternative things that we can do, rather than saying, okay, we're going to have like all the groups report back and read through their flip charts, right? So we came up with a list of alternatives to that, and I use it all the time. I mean, so it's just like one after another, after another, after another, from like the small sketches that we do just in the gaps in between when we're just like explaining a concept to each other. I did a drawing class. I mean, like, the idea of, you could draw a box like this and it's perfectly serviceable. You could give it some depth, but this is really neat where you actually like twist it and crush it and give it some dynamism. So anyway, like, take notes like that, right? Like, just really, really live in your sketchbook. I go back to my notes from IFVP more than just about any other class that I've ever been a part of. So yeah, +1.
And so I would add too, in terms of benefits from the conference, it's kind of like going to Disney World. Like, you're immersed in everything with it. You've got all the people surrounding you, you've got the tools surrounding you, you've got topics and everything. So the more that you can stay with other people, stay in the nice, beautiful building that we have, things like that, it really is like getting just like filling your tank with the experience.
Cool. What else is coming up? Let's see. Oh, I thought I saw somebody. Nope.
Well, that was me, but actually following up to Joe's question, one of the other good benefits of this membership, even the basic, is be able to get back to the OLS videos. I remember seeing some of those over COVID when you guys were doing a lot of virtual stuff in 2020, I guess. And being able to, I think, to go back and access those videos again, I think is a wonderful benefit of membership as well. There's some good stuff in the OLS library.
Sarah, I got one for you. This is a purely selfish question. So let's say that I've got a book to sell. How do I sign up to do that?
So you email me, Sarah at 26-letters.com.
Uh-huh.
And you give me the information. And so what I do is I connect you with our membership coordinator, who is actually Superwoman, Lana Post, who is runs the workshop along with our accountant or bookkeeper, I'm sorry, Rebecca Dugan. So, but contact me first, shoot me an email with your name, just introduction, what your book is, kind of details about it. And then the service we also offer for that is your book is not only in the bookshop, we also will highlight it in the marketing too.
Awesome. Heather, you're going to be selling your books? Yes, that's a thumbs up. Okay.
I'm literally emailing her now.
Yeah, I know. Me too. I was like,
Good.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Hey, that's a great question, Brian. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else? Yeah, Joe.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
The last response just made me think of this. What, for those of us who've never attended, what is essential that you bring with you? Like Brian, I know you like, there's a lot of people like Sketchnotes. Some people just take notes, bring a laptop. I mean, I have no idea, not having attended. What's essential, do you think?
Well, I think that we all can answer here, and it might be a different for all of us. For me, it is a spiral bound notebook that's about this big that I can flip open and draw on. And I personally like to draw with small black pens. Nova Scribe is going to be donating to the swag bag a great little pen that can be used for key lines. And then what I add to it is just gray shading. Oh, there you go. Just like that. And then what I like to do is have some gray shading and maybe a couple colors. So if you don't have Neuland markers, which you're not required to have, you will certainly see them and be able to use them at the conference. A couple little colors for highlights, some grays if you want, but for me, it's a notebook. How about you, Heather? What do you bring to the?
So every year for me, it's totally different. The last one, I think the last conference I went to was UViz, and I actually did everything in watercolor. And so I did all my sketch notes in a travel watercolor because I knew I could only take one sketchbook to Europe. And I wanted to also do sketchnoting, and just urban sketching while I was there. But honestly, I too, like Brian, I have a special notebook that I use for almost all my sketchbooks, all my sketch notes, I'm sorry, for every class I take. And so that it's all pretty the same, and it's a 10x10 art alternatives. I carry plenty of, now that Neuland has come out with the Fine One Flex, because this has a brush nib, I have over a dozen different lettering styles I can do with it, and I can make it look different sizes. And I carry some of the other smaller sketch ones and fine ones as well. Of course, I'm Neuland, so I'm all about that. But I have and I'm looking for it now, and I can't find it. But I have a sort of a guiding document on what to take for this kind of thing and how to prep for conferences that I'll put in the chat. And I'd really love to answer Jody's question about what if you feel like you're not good enough or not worthy? She's asking for a friend. So can I answer that? It kind of goes along the lines with what Sarah was saying. My first conference was in Hawaii, so I have to brag about that because it was awesome. But before I went, and I didn't have a lot of time. I only had about 2 weeks from the time I found out about IFVP to the time that I went. I did as much research as I could, and I found everybody that I wanted to meet. I wanted to meet Brandy Agerbeck. I wanted to, I just make a list of all the people that I wanted to meet. And I didn't know if they were going to be there. I just knew that they were the famous people in our world, and I was scared, so scared. And so what I did is, after researching them, looking at their websites, I said, what's one question I can ask them when I meet them? because I knew as soon as I got there, I would get starstruck. And that's exactly what happened. And I actually peed my pants one time, and I know we're recording, but that actually happened. I got so excited. And so just figure out, who do you want to meet beforehand, and what question could you ask them, because they will answer it. My question to Brandy Agerbeck was, will you be my mentor? And she turned around and she said no. And now she's one of my best friends, and that's okay, because I just worked her like a rodeo clown, and it's all good. But this is a really, really wonderful group of people who are very generous with their time, their knowledge, and they want you to, because honestly, I'm not going to be going around going, hey, you look new. Got a question for me? That's just silly. So I hope you'll come, Jody, and I hope you'll come up with a question for me. And if you don't know what to ask me, just private message me and I'll give you a question to ask me when you see me there.
A great answer. Although I do want to talk about the rodeo clown reference. I'm not going to be able to think of anything else until I get that one resolved.
And I'd like to also add to that another way to alleviate the nervousness of meeting, because I am not a very good, I mean, like, I walk into a room of people and I just shut down. I'm very nervous. And what you'll find is a lot of us are that way. A lot of us are introverts. So one way to alleviate that is to volunteer. So I happen to be the volunteer coordinator. So if you would like to volunteer for anything, it could be just like running markers around the rooms, or helping one of the facilitators set up the room. So that way you can feel like you're part of the team, and you'll meet other people and you'll feel supported. So if you would like to volunteer, and it doesn't have to be a lot, but if you want to volunteer a little bit, and then we'll scoop you up and you'll get to meet a lot of people, and then you'll feel more at home.
So I know in 2019, they had people sign up to graphic record the breakout sessions. Are they doing that again, and are they doing that ahead of time or at the conference?
That's a very good question. So the intention, the intention is to answer that yes. So we haven't quite got to that yet, but what Andrea is referring to is that at every workshop there is a big board, and someone volunteers to graphic record the session. And what was really wonderful in 2019 is I got to co-draw with one of my heroes, who is Trent Wakennight, who is now a friend of mine. He is an incredible graphic recorder and human being. And when I asked to draw with him and he said yes, I went from not knowing him to I got his phone number. So like within the space of like an hour and a half, we became, really cool. So there are opportunities throughout the conference to do things like that. Now, that's not to say it's going to be easy. It's like it does make you nervous, but what I have found, and anybody else in this room can probably confirm, is that when you're any graphic recording, whenever you're standing up in front of an audience, listening and trying to draw, there's always nerves, and you always do great. So we will have more information on that as we get closer to the conference, but that is the intention.
I just want to share a story. I'm not going to out this person, but she was so scared when she went to go graphic record one of the sessions that she froze. And she had a mentor, and so her mentor tried to help her, but she didn't. But the mentor kind of just took over and recorded for her. And she froze so badly that she had to leave the room. And it took her a couple of days, but she got the courage again, and she came back, and she decided she wanted to graphic record, and she did it. And when she got done, they handed her the microphone, and it was such a wonderful story to watch her go through that process and know that it's okay. She said the reason why she came back is because even though she froze because she didn't know what to do, because it was her first time ever graphic recording, and let's throw that in there as well, but that she felt so much love from the room that she could come back and try it again, that she wasn't afraid to do it in front of everybody. She just got stuck and didn't know what to do. So it's so okay. I mean, there's a lot of, my first time I ever graphic recorded was at the IFVP conference in a breakout room as well.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Thank you for sharing that story.
Benoit says, what part of the summit is looking at the digital aspect of graphic recording? Sarah, can you speak to that?
I can, yes. So we have a great practitioner named Lucinda Levine, and on Wednesday, July 31st, from 1:30 to 3 p.m., she will be running a session to run an overview of graphic recording on the iPad. So that's going to be amazing. There are other people will have their iPads there too. So if you're bringing your iPad, or if you have an iPad, definitely bring it. And there's also a section of open space, and I am sure will be some open space dedicated to digital recording. The other thing we have is cleaning up digital images. So Sunshine, can you please tell me how to say Sunshine's last name?
Sunshine.
No, how do you pronounce her last name? Ben Cluck, who knows how to say that? I'm so embarrassed. I
Hold on, let me
always,
see if I can look it up. We'd have to figure it
I'm
out.
gonna look it
I
up.
think it's like Ben Deckelchem, something like that.
Ben
Yes.
Belkacem. Ben Belkacem.
I am as nervous about saying Sunny's last name as I am getting up and drawing in front of people. So I just call her Sunny, as everyone does. She's super fabulous. She was years ago, the president of the IFVP, and she will be here this year. And she will be talking about how to clean up images. So if you are a graphic reporter and you are taking a photograph of your completed visual, and the client will need it in digital format, because they always do. It's a good thing to supply that. She will tell you how to clean it up. So there are opportunities for digital drawing learning opportunities.
Slightly related to that. So this is something that Phil just informed me of today, but apparently Tanya Gadsby and I are going to be demoing the latest in virtual reality, augmented reality, and extended reality. So we'll be doing a little tech demo there too. Heather is getting excited about that one. Oh, I'll bring your spray paint program. You remember that one? Yeah, I'll bring that for you. All right. So Kristen says, for members who aren't able to attend, will some of the workshops be available online at a later date? Nah.
Nope.
Yeah, you gotta go. Sorry.
Yeah, you gotta go. And really depending on what your budget is, it is kind of it's a chunk of change to get there, and you will not regret spending that money. So if you can go, please go. We do have regional conferences that we help to organize in the middle years. So on the odd years, we do regional. So in your area, there may be one next year.
Oh, thank you, Heather. So in chat, Heather is sharing her lettering on the go doc. So cool. Thanks for that. All right. What else is coming up for folks? We're getting close to the top of the hour. I think we scheduled this just for about an hour. Well, so Sarah, thank you very much. I know you're busy with family stuff. Thank you very much for carving out a little bit of time. So we'll get this recorded toot sweet and shared out there just in case anybody missed it. But thank you very much for your time. Let's give Sarah Spencer a big Nova Scribes. Thank you.
Well, and to all of you, you're really wonderful. Thank you all for your time, support, and help. And I look forward to seeing you in July.
Awesome. And Heather, just because I'm trying to save your lettering thing, can you stop the recording? Because it's kind of frozen up my screen.